Safety officials in Rancho, Palos, Verdes are stepping up efforts to prevent another tragedy along our coast. I'm Maria Sorreo. Since July, more than 50 rescues have taken place and one Long Beach man drowned off of our peninsula. Liz Brown-Swanson joins us from Abalone, Cove Beach with the story.
Hi Maria, I'm here at Abalone Cove where I caught up with lifeguards and members of the newly formed Abalone Cove Safety Task Force. This force was created in the wake of the recent number of rescues that have had to be performed here, as well as the tragic drowning of a man off Sacred Cove. The bottom line is safety officials want to make sure that the public knows when they come to the beach, they need to be safe rather than sorry.
As a part of this safety task force, we have the Sheriff's Department, we've got the Fire Department, lifeguards. We also have our Rangers from MRCA, as well as city staff. We had obviously a lot of incidents and a lot of reports of rescues needing to be made. So we got everybody together in one room, started talking about what we can do to educate the public a little bit more on how to use your public beach safely.
As far as the lifeguards are concerned, what we want to share with the community is we want people to come down, we want people to enjoy the beach, but there's very little beach that's lifeguarded. So we want people to come down and swim in the water where there's a lifeguard. Abalone Cove Shoreline Park has a beach where we staff a lifeguard starting at 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. RPV, which is below Trump National Golf Course, also has a lifeguard.
The other areas, of course, Sacred Cove, there's no lifeguard present. So talk about swimmer safety there.
Around the 2 points, so you have Portuguese Point and Inspiration Point. When the water comes in, there's places where the water goes back farther or goes back into the rock point. And a lot of people call those the gorges, the tide pools. I would describe it as worse than a washing machine. It goes up, down, back, forth. The water recedes really low, then comes really high, and what we've seen is people are jumping in the water, they're getting scratched up, they're getting injured, and unfortunately we had a death at one of the points.
Our message right now with this, the Abalone Cove incident and everything that's happened at Sacred Cove, with the Sheriff's Department standpoint, if you're in trouble, or see somebody in trouble, have somebody call 911. Get the emergency services rolling immediately. The other thing, know where you are. During the last two major incidents that we had, everybody on the 911 said that they were at Abalone Cove. All the resources went to Abalone Cove when in fact they were at Inspiration Point in Sacred Cove. So please, please know where you are, know your exact location.
We back up LA County lifeguards. And our message would be to obey the posted warning signs before you go down into the water. Always speak to a lifeguard before getting into the water to get the beach conditions, swim conditions. If you go in the water, stay away from the rocks, as conditions can change without notice and slam you into the rocks. Always swim close to a open lifeguard post, and always swim with a buddy.
I want to tell the public when they come here, we want them to enjoy the coastline, enjoy the beaches, but do it in a safe manner. You know, if you have kids especially, stick to the beaches that have the lifeguards that are on duty, that are on, on call or on the location. Just use your common sense and be safe out here.
Talking about, making your day at the beach safe, we've had a lot of situations here recently with the drowning, and you said you were here.
We were here that day, and the lifeguards actually asked us to get out of the water, and then maybe 20 minutes later the helicopter was coming down, and it was very emotional, yeah.
For your girls, what do you tell them about being safe when they come?
I give them the tips on to swim with the current, don't go against it, and just to stay near mommy.
I've been lifeguarding for 30 years, and in the last 3 years, this particular location in Abalone Cove Shoreline Park, the activity has increased tenfold. I think the ease of getting here, the social media, everyone knows where it is now. It's very easy to pull up, and the Facebook, the Twitter, and those social media avenues have really accounted for a lot of the activity we're getting down here.
We're trying to educate people in many ways, this being one of them. But it's through signage, through our press releases, through just our knowledge when people come into the gate up at Abalone Cove. Our staff is letting them know, kind of what the conditions are, to go swim near a guard and just do the right thing, to do things that are, just make sense.
Again, to highlight some of the safety tips for beachgoers. Number 1, never swim alone. Always make sure there is a lifeguard visible. We want to make sure that you're safe rather than sorry when you come to the beach. Back to you, Maria, in the studio.
The public can expect to see extra patrols through the busy Labor Day weekend, and if you're planning a trip to Abalone Cove, you should note that the parking lot is open but will remain under construction through September. Hospitals throughout Los Angeles are running low on blood supply, and the Lomita Sheriff's Department is calling for your help. On Wednesday, August 13th, the Blood Mobile will be at the Lomita Sheriff's Station from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The address is 26133 Narbonne Avenue in Lomita. The drive will take place in the upper visitors parking lot, and it only takes about an hour to donate blood. We encourage anyone interested in helping others to give the gift of life. With summer temperatures climbing, so are the amount of people who enjoy hiking on our peninsula. In order to be safe while you're enjoying the trails, there are a few guidelines to remember before you start out. I caught up with Ranger Jewel Johnson, who gives us the details.
Well, number 1, I always try to tell people, know before you go, meaning that know where you're going, know the trails, and if it's going to be a hot day, plan it better, like hike in the early evening or the early morning, so you won't be hiking in the middle of the day when it's the hottest. The worst problem we're having is people don't bring water because they're thinking, I'm going for a short hike, and Portuguese Bend Reserve is like our most popular reserve. And so when you go down Burma Road and you see that ocean view, you're talking with your friends, you're like, well, I'm just going downhill. I always tell them, well, you still have to come back up. There's not much shade. So bring water. And usually we actually like to park in the middle of the reserve when it's really hot, because people tend to, when that lash push up the hill, that's where they need the most help. But yeah, water is very important. Well, I go through almost 3 liters of water. I carry a Camelback, but the little small bottles they bring, I would bring a bigger bottle, like 1.5 liters. That would be a good start. And not just for people, the hikers. If you have a dog, they need water too. And you gotta remember your dog's limitations. It's even more important to hike them early in the morning or in the evening. Again, the park closes an hour after sunset, so you can have that time to hike later in the evening and still be out of the park before it closes. Dogs must be on a leash at all times, because dogs, they not only they go off trail, they like to dig around. That's the animal's habitat, but also that's where the snakes are going to be too. People always ask when the snakes come out. I always tell them, if you feel like laying out in the sun, so do the snakes. And again, if you see them, give them their space. They will eventually move off trail. You don't want to throw things at them, because basically if someone starts to attack you, you get very defensive. So does the snake. He'll get defensive. So you may be able to get past it, but now you angered it. The next hiker by may not be paying attention and they may get struck. So give it its space, allow it to move off the trail, and then continue your hike. It's always good to hike with a partner. That's always good. But again, it also goes back to know before you go, know where you're going, tell somebody where you're going. If you are going to hike by yourself, have somebody know where you're going, give them a time when you should be back. And again, you're going to make sure you have your essentials in your backpack in case that something does happen. In your backpack, or always bring water. Number 1, bring your water. Everyone has a cell phone, so make sure you have a cell phone, so that you can communicate in case something does happen. I sometimes carry a map. You carry a map with you, just your basics, but I want to stress more than anything, water. Water is very important. Even if you're just going to hike for 20 minutes, still bring your water, because by the time you feel thirsty, it's a little bit too late. Again, it goes back to know before you go. I mean, for children, the Oceans Trail Reserve, which is over by the Trump Golf Course and by the Border San Pedro, that's a nice trail because it's a nice flat trail, a nice ocean view, and that's always nice to go to. Here at Vicente Bluffs Reserve is another trail that's good for older hikers or young people, and again, they still can see some wildlife. They can see the habitat. They see the beauty of the coastline of Palos Verdes. So those are, I always like to suggest and give people alternatives. Like I said, Portuguese Bend is the most popular one, but I'm trying to encourage people, we have more reserves. Let's explore and explore the other reserves. You know, you'd be very surprised.
And you can get more information on where to hike by going to the city's website at palosverdes.com/RPV. And coming up next, our community comes out to give back in a big way, and we have all the details. We'll be right back.
It was really fun. Yeah, no, totally. Because, no, be serious. I mean, it's not your problem. Really. I know. She looks great. Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking. You are so right. All right, great. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, thanks for coming.
Are we in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. I just want to set some ground rules.
Like what?
Well, remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
Of course not. Well, it was pretty graphic. Too graphic for the kids. So I'm going to have to block you.
I got to make this up to you. This is Vinny's watch, and I want you to have it. You deserve it.
Thank you. That's really not necessary.
No. Come here.
Hi, I'm Deputy Chris Knox, here to remind you of the importance of traffic safety near our schools. School zones are always 25 miles per hour. A school zone only applies when students are outside the school in the morning and the afternoon. Parents should always allow extra time when dropping off their children and should know the school's drop-off routes and procedures. Motorists should also focus on safe driving near schools. Some of the violations I see near schools are cell phones, speeding, double parking, seat belts, and child safety seats. Students should always remember to cross safely at intersections and not to run out in front of cars. When we follow these rules, we can all stay safe.
The city of Rancho Palos Verdes hosted its first ever volunteer day at Lower Hess Park, and many volunteers showed up to help beautify the park. Since 2009, the city's been working with residents on plans to improve Lower Hess. Liz Brown Swanson joins us now from the park with the story.
Hi, Maria. It's really exciting to be here at Lower Hess Park for the city's first annual Volunteer Day. Now, when I showed up, they gave me my yellow t-shirt, which means I need to put this on and get to work. It really is a beautiful day, especially as we watch the community come together to do this wonderful beautification project.
This is our first volunteer day, so we want all the bright yellow shirts to show people in the neighborhood that we have volunteers who are willing to make the parks beautiful, and we're trying to get rid of invasive species and have the native plants be able to grow.
It's something for the good of this park, Liz. It's a beautiful park, and it's fantastic to see all the volunteers that have come out here today. I mean, we've got groups working on the hill. Here's a big group working behind me, groups over on the side here, and we're really making some headway pulling out Russian thistle.
This is really fun. This is our first event, as I'm sure you've heard from others, and I'm just really excited to be a part of it because this is the beginning, I think, of a really cool program.
I've been hearing about the city's efforts for Lower Hess Improvement Project. What's going on there?
Well, we have a conceptual plan for Lower Hess, and we're working with the neighbors to kind of refine that. But in the meantime, the city has allocated $500,000 to kind of be the first phase of improvements out here.
With the resources we have, not only through volunteers and projects like this, but also on a more formal basis, we do have some funding that we'd like to put in some more improvements in this park. such as a playground area, some hard court surfacing. It is an active rec park, so we'd like to, again, it's going to be a mixture of a little bit of everything.
There is a committee to work with the city on the development of Lower Hess Park. You can stand out here with all these people working away and you can almost see the invasive weeds and disappear and the place look better. It's just very, very, very encouraging.
I think today is fabulous to have over 70 volunteers here giving of their time to help in a community event is just awesome.
All the volunteers keep rolling in. I found this mom with a nice group of teens here ready to go to work. What brought you out today?
Oh, we just wanted to give back to our community, just make it beautiful. Seems like a relatively doable project.
And I see, you're with the club Los Hermanos, which does a lot in the community. What do you enjoy about volunteering?
Well, I enjoy just helping and giving my time back.
What are they going to have you do out here?
Well, we're mostly just going to get rid of debris and trash.
I was picking some sticks and those sharp plants.
And you working really hard?
Yeah.
How about you, Amanda? What are you up to out there?
I'm doing the same thing, raking and all that kind of stuff.
And what about for you? What do you think this is a good idea to all come together like this, Alyssa?
It's good to help out your community and to give back to the city, and it makes the city prettier and it makes life better.
It's a great park, and I think the volunteer day has worked out very well. So thank you for contributing to that.
And Jim, you live right in the neighborhood, so this is extra special.
That's right. I walk here almost every day.
I think we were amazed at how many people signed up for this first event, so it's wonderful to know how many RPV residents want to come out and help. Just seeing the community spirit is great.
All right, I was able to take a quick break, and I just want to let the community know there'll be many more volunteer days like this one where you can get out into the community and make a difference. You can check in with the city's Recreation and Parks Department at 310-544-5260 to find out about all the future projects. And with that, I'm going to say back to you in the studio, Maria, and now I'm going to get back to work. I could do that again and get it up.
The next major volunteer day takes place on September 20th. The city of RPV and Los Serenos de Point Vicente will co-host the annual Coastal Cleanup Day at Abalone Cove, so mark your calendars. San Pedro's iconic Korean friendship bell has undergone extensive restorations and is open to the public. Our very own John Clayton recently visited the bell and joins us now with more on the landmark.
Thanks, Maria. Yeah, there's quite a story out here at the Korean Friendship Bell, and if you come with me, we'll let our viewers see more about it. Why was this particular location chosen out of all the places in Los Angeles?
The Korean government was looking for a suitable site for locating this bell, and they chose Los Angeles as the ideal area because of the large Korean population that were here already. The bell is modeled after the divine bell of King Seongdeok, which was cast in 771 AD. They gathered 9 of the best bellmasters that they could find and tasked them with building a replica that would be 17 tons.
Wow. So you had it restored because I guess given the location, there was, the stuff from the sea and the breezes, and I don't know that it rusts, but I'm sure all the elements of the weather must have affected it.
Well, the bell is made mostly of the bronze, and so it has actually a natural patina process that tends to protect it. However, the sea salt in the air was very damaging, as well as the many homing pigeons that have made home. And so it was getting corroded quite a bit. But we have installed a bird-proofing wires that were approved by the...
Bird-proofing wires?
Bird-proofing wires, so that they can't just perch anywhere. It is open to everybody, but we do ring it only 5 times a year.
And you ring it at a specific time?
That's correct. We ring it for the New Year's Eve. We ring it also again on the Korean American Day, which is in January. We also ring it for the Americans' Independence Day, the purpose for which this was given. We ring it again August 15th, which is the Korean Liberation Day, when the Allied forces, including U.S., defeated the Axis forces and brought the World War II to its end. And then we bring it on the third weekend of every September in celebration of the Constitution Day. And there's something unique about the Korean bell because it's just not the bell, but there's a reflector bowl and a sound pipe at the top that as a whole structure it becomes an instrument.
And the reason the bell is rung is because?
Well, it is a offering a prayer in the Buddhist tradition. By striking the bell, you bring calm and peace to all that hear it. And the legendary bell of King Songdag actually had magical powers. And we're hoping that by ringing this bell that we can hope for unity and peace both here in America and in Korea.
Well, what an interesting tour that was, and what a lot of interesting things we saw and heard about the Korean bell. So, Maria, back to you in the studio.
And coming up next, John Clayton attended the hottest party of the summer. Were you there? Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You don't need to be bigger than life to be a good dad. You just need to spend time with your kids. It takes a man to be a dad.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
Been doing like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah.
Dude, that's Sarah. The girl in the pink shirt. That's the girl I was telling you about.
Theater 2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?
Hey, Sarah. So when are you going to post something new?
Anything you post online, anyone can see. So think before you post.
And finally, it was the biggest party of the summer as the city of RPV hosted the annual 4th of July celebration, and John Clayton was there for all the fun.
Well, I got here bright and early. We had a council meeting to start the day off with, which was exciting. And
on July the 4th?
On July 4th, yeah, about an hour before the festivities started. And then we listened to the Palos Verdes Symphonic Band, listened to some great music. We heard a great rendition from Tiffany, sing the Star Spangled Banner. But I will be roaming around the festivities with my family. My daughters are here with a bunch of their friends, my wife, and just take in this beautiful RPV day.
And the home of the
I had great 4th of Julys, and fireworks are my favorite.
Oh yeah, days at the beach, Portuguese Bend Beach Club, or fireworks shows around town. So always something going on.
It's one of my favorite holidays. I really enjoy 4th of July, and it's a time for families to get together. And then at night, I have a house on the east side of the hill, and I will be watching all the fireworks that are occurring in the whole LA basin.
I'm gonna go home and eat more pie probably.
Well, he took his first ride on a toy, one of the amusement rides.
Yeah.
And we haven't been here very long, and we're thinking about the helicopter rides.
Yeah, trying to talk him into the helicopter.
Celebrate? And that will do it for us. From everyone here at RPV TV, make it a great day.